we're here now and I'm focused on the future, focused on finishing what was started.
Shot.
I think he'll stop him, and I think he'll do it inside 6 rounds. But it's going to be a tough fight, a tough occasion to absorb for these fighters as well. And the build-up next week is going to be epic.
Conor Benn has been pushing himself to the limit as he gears up to step into the ring against Chris Eubank Jr., intensifying his preparations ahead of the much-anticipated clash. Demonstrating immense dedication and discipline, Conor Benn starts his day as early as 5 a.m. He heads straight to camp, kicking off his daily routine with a focused warm-up. According to Benn, this ritual helps him shed any lingering comfort or formality, allowing him to fully switch into an active, high-performance mindset.
I think I was up at 5 a.m. For me, it is really just a matter of removing myself from my familiarities and my comfort zone.
Conor Benn's training regimen is closely tied to a disciplined diet plan. According to his chef, Conor skips breakfast in the morning to avoid any sluggishness that might come from eating too early. Instead, he fuels his warm-up with a couple of strong coffees, giving him the energy boost he needs to kickstart his intense training sessions.
So in the morning, he doesn't really have anything to eat. Before a session, here's a couple of coffees.
After his initial warm-up, Conor Benn heads straight into a continuous running session. He believes this pushes him beyond his limits and fully activates his body for the day ahead. Running on nothing but a couple of coffees keeps his focus sharp, free from the heaviness of an early meal. The intensity peaks with a weighted incline run, and core strength training comes as a brutal challenge that, according to Benn, helps forge his body into a tougher, more resilient machine. With laser-sharp focus on securing a knockout against Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn is training to go the distance no matter how long the fight lasts. He's made it clear this bout won't be left to the judges. In his words, it's not going to point. It's going to end with Eubank Jr. getting smashed. Whether it's 10 rounds or 12, Benn insists it doesn't matter. He's conditioning himself like a fighter preparing for 15, leaving no room for doubt when the bell rings.
I don't see this fight going points. A lot of people say, oh, you know, I rely on my power. I rely on, you know, my athleticism. I can outbox you for 12, no problem. I've got the engine to do 12 easy. Done 12, 10 easy, no problem. I condition myself in it as a 15-round fighter.
Conor Benn is deep in the trenches, training like an absolute savage ahead of his explosive showdown with Chris Eubank Jr. Every day in camp, he's going full throttle. No shortcuts, no off switch. He's hitting the pads with raw aggression, channeling pure beast mode as he sharpens his combinations and refines his timing.
Shot.
Reflecting on his journey and the lead up to the fight, Conor Benn addressed recent criticisms of his stamina ahead of his highly anticipated bout with Chris Eubank Jr., emphasizing the intensity of his training camp and making it clear that his goal is to settle the score once and for all.
My world title fight. I'd rather this fight than any world title, for sure. I'd rather have his name on my record than any world title, definitely. Because that's cemented. Like, you can't say nothing. You just get beat by a welterweight. Done. That's it. Finished.
The chemistry of Conor Benn and his trainer in the gym is undeniable. Sims knows exactly how to push Benn to the edge, and Benn responds with the hunger of a fighter on a mission. This isn't just about technique. It's about controlled aggression, precision, and turning every rep into a statement. In the latest training clip, Benn is seen unloading thunderous shots on the pads, each punch thrown with bad intentions and laser-sharp focus. Observing the fire Conor Benn has brought to training camp, promoter Eddie Hearn couldn't hold back his praise. He highlighted Benn's relentless passion and commitment, noting that his work ethic speaks volumes about his growing skill set. Hearn acknowledged that moving up a weight division is never easy, but he firmly believes Conor has the sharpness, speed, and grit to not just handle the jump, but to fight at an almost unbelievable pace.
And you know, from our side, we can't wait. Conor Benn has had the training camp that dreams are made of. I mean, really has. And there'll be absolutely no excuses. And we know the challenge of moving up 2 divisions. It's not going to be easy. And, you know, for that reason, it is a pick and fight. But I just believe that Ben is just too sharp and too ferocious for him, even coming up the divisions.
Eddie Hearn pointed out that the build-up in the coming week is set to be electric, acknowledging the fierce intensity both Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. bring to the table. He admitted it will be a tough occasion for both fighters and didn't shy away from making a bold prediction, confidently stating that Conor Benn will stop Eubank Jr. inside 6 rounds.
I think he'll stop him, and I think he'll do it inside 6 rounds, but it's going to be a tough fight, a tough occasion to absorb for these fighters as well. And the build-up next week is going to be epic.
Eddie Hearn highlighted the strong relationship Conor Benn shares with his father. He noted that fans truly connect with that father-son dynamic, seeing the passion passed down through generations. Hearn also applauded Conor's unwavering hard work and dedication throughout training camp, qualities he believes the public not only notices but deeply respects.
People have definitely seen, I think, the accessibility that Conor gives to training camp and to DAZN and people like that. I think you get to see what he's really like, which is a good, hard-working, honest kid. And I think people particularly love the relationship between him and his dad. You know, it's genuine, it's authentic. They've trained every day together for this fight.
Meanwhile, Conor Benn himself has also made it clear he expects nothing less than victory. Speaking with conviction, Benn warned Chris Eubank Jr. that he won't stand a chance on fight night, promising to make it a nightmare for him across all 10 or 12 rounds. However, Benn didn't stop there. He boldly predicted that the fight might not even go that far, hinting at a potential stoppage as early as the 4th round.
Yellow zone. I don't need to bang you out to win. You know, I'll give you a good hiding for 10. I'll give you a good hiding for 12. You know, not that I plan on this going past 4 rounds.
Firing a direct warning at Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn didn't mince words. He emphasized that a loss in this fight could spell the end of Eubank Jr.'s career. Benn confidently stated that while his own ambitions stretch across multiple world titles and weight classes, Eubank Jr. is fixated on just one thing. He predicted the fight will not only be a physical defeat for Eubank Jr., but a career-defining loss he may not bounce back from.
When he loses, he has to retire. I don't understand why at this stage of his career he chooses to fight a welterweight over a world title. I can drop back down and go get my world title. No problem. I'll go and fight for the WBC world title, the WBA, WBO. I think I'm top ranked. You know, top 5 in almost every governing body. But as for him, he's chasing one thing, and that's the difference between me and him.
For Conor Benn, the thought of facing Chris Eubank Jr. with a world title on the line brings a whole new level of excitement. But it's not just about belts. Benn admitted that this time, the fight has become deeply personal. With tensions between the two escalating in recent months, their rivalry has reached boiling point. According to Benn, this isn't just a family feud or another big event. It's about holding Eubank Jr. accountable. It's not just a fight, Benn said. It's about punishing him for his actions.
Rivalry between me and Chris has definitely escalated, for sure. Before it was a matter of legacy, it was a family feud, it was an event, it was an occasion, it was something that hadn't been done before in history, whereas now it's more personal, for sure. I'd rather have Chris's name as a W on my record than a world title.
Reflecting on Conor Benn's preparation, his father, boxing icon Nigel Benn, shared his deep sense of pride and contentment. He praised the remarkable progress Conor has made under the guidance of Tony Sims, acknowledging the transformation in both skill and mindset. Nigel emphasized that Tony has gone above and beyond, not just as a trainer, but as a mentor, dedicating his life to shaping Conor into a best fighter.
Under Tony, because he's listening to what Tony's, he's just gone to another level. I couldn't see anybody else training Conor like how Tony does. He's dedicated with the guy out there running, doing the road work, doing the weight session, everything. He's got a good team surrounding Conor with Tony.
Standing firmly in his corner, Nigel Benn is playing an active role in his son's training camp, making sure Conor stays focused, driven, and ready to follow in his legendary footsteps. With decades of experience and personal history tied to the Eubank name, Nigel is fueling Conor with both wisdom and fire. The mission is clear: to help Conor not just defeat Chris Eubank Jr., but to dominate him and solidify his own legacy in the process. After witnessing the intensity of Conor Benn's training firsthand, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. shared his thoughts on the rising star's preparation and mindset. He acknowledged Benn's fierce determination to become a true monster in the ring, highlighting that his punching power alone gives him a real shot against Chris Eubank Jr. Roy praised Conor as an exceptional talent, one whose skills are being sharpened and refined all over again through relentless, focused training.
I think it's going to be a very good fight. Conor has punching power chances. Chris is the bigger guy, so you give Chris the advantage going in because he's the bigger guy, but Conor does have exceptional punching power, so it's going to be a great fight.
As the fight with Chris Eubank Jr. draws near, Conor Benn is leaving no stone unturned in his preparation, taking his conditioning to the next level with altitude mass training under the watchful eye of trainer Tony Sims. The intense sessions are designed to simulate high-altitude environments, making each breath harder to catch and every movement more demanding. With a laser focus on becoming the best version of himself, Conor Benn has been relentlessly following a rigorous training routine in camp. From strict adherence to his diet plan, to throwing sharper punches and pushing through longer runs, he's showing exceptional discipline and drive. Beyond the technical work, Benn is doubling down on strength and conditioning, pushing his body to new limits.
The 40s are okay. The 16 can shift to when the most important thing on the ball is the feet inside. It's not that it looks beautiful or not. It's the feet inside. So the quality of the feet.
This training camp has not only sharpened Conor Benn's skills and physical conditioning, but also reignited his motivation in life. He described himself as a fighter in every sense, emphasizing that the mindset of a true fighter goes beyond the ring. It's about confronting life's struggles head on. In comparison to life's battles, Benn sees this fight as just a small hurdle.
I'm a fighter, not just in the ring, but everything life throws at you. Life's a fight, and it's the hardest fight.
Alongside his preparation, Conor Benn has openly criticized Chris Eubank Jr.'s attitude toward him, calling it outright ridiculous. He pointed out that Eubank throws unwarranted jabs and disrespectful comments without reason, and warned that he'll come to regret it when they finally meet in the ring.
And I'm still going to come in and do what I got to do anyway. You know, he don't dictate what I do, who I am, how I think. I think he's an idiot and he's going to get ironed out.
So guys, there you have it. Conor Benn is locked in, fueled by legacy, power, and pure determination. With Tony Sims in his corner and Nigel Benn in his blood, he's not just training for a fight, he's preparing for a statement. Will Chris Eubank Jr. survive what's coming? The countdown is on. Stay tuned, because this war is personal. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss any of the action as we build up to the biggest fight of the year.